Hey, thanks for tuning in. New screen. No, I always have that starting screen when I'm getting going. But I do have a new setup, so let me know if the sound is off. Because with my new job that I took, I've got a big old 16-inch MacBook Pro over my normal MacBook Pro 13-inch, and I rearranged my desk a bit and hung up my microphone a bit differently. So hopefully everything's okay. I've been drinking from the fire hose this week, coming after a holiday weekend, so I didn't really have time to test anything out. And to be fair, I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I'm very much a fly by the seat of my pants. All right. So if the sound's coming in good, that's awesome. And I'm gonna get kicked off on some phpstan-drupal stuff. We've had a few. I want to first highlight some awesome news that came out. So 3 days ago, I released 1.1.1. Or I guess I'll highlight. Did I release 1.1.0 on this stream 7 days ago? So I must have. 1.1.1 has a few fixes that prevent the dreaded class test case not found. This was triggered by false positives inside of the um, browser test rule that checks for default theme. That was trying to auto load test case when it didn't need to. So that rule basically gets skipped if PHP unit is not installed. Core incompatibility. This was another workaround. So it was being triggered in two cases. One was the rule. The other part was having to load all the test namespaces and other awkwardness. So that's been fixed as well. So I hope that makes people really happy. And let's see, what are the changes since that release? Because we've had some good ones going on. Tag, let's see, somewhere it's supposed to tell you what's been changed since then. Oh, 4 commits since the release. So what's cute for the next release is we have service mapping support for parents, but there's like an edge case where a parent had it, like there was a parent and a parent, and that was fixed. And what's really exciting is detect when a class extends internal. So it checks first if you've it checks, it flags an error if anything is in a non-shared namespace. So what that means in Drupal, a shared namespace would be Drupal slash core. That is the Drupal core namespace. Drupal slash component, that is the Drupal components namespace. And extensions are Drupal slash my module, my theme, etc. So if your custom code extended, oh man, JSON API resources is going to get flagged so hard. That's an example is in JSON API resources. So if we look here and we go to unstable, this might be it. Controller, maybe this wouldn't be here, but things somewhere in here we extend dependency injection. Second, I was hoping to find it, but apparently not. I thought we were extending something in from core JSON API. But one example is the JSON API module in Drupal core has a lot of classes that are flagged as @internal. So if we were to be inside of our class here, and if this extended anything from Drupal JSON API, it would throw an error because Drupal JSON API resources is not in the same namespace and it's using cross namespace internal classes. So it's a way to say like, hey, you're extending something that's not part of a documented or backwards compatible API. Watch out. So that's really exciting to have that. I realize that phpstan doesn't have that rule itself, but I guess you could, like, it's hard to say like what's allowed to extend an internal class. Like, what is it, just your namespace, or what levels of the namespace are allowed? I want to go triage some items inside upgrade status. I know someone picked mentioned an issue. I think it's upgrade status missed a deprecated function in .theme. That's one. Ooh, that's a new one. So I wanted to triage a few of these. And I was also pointed to this job failure. Oh, not found anymore. So Drupal.org has Drupal CI, and it actually runs phpstan against all contrib. And that's how the dev.aquia.com. So if we go to Drupal 9, check project status. So there's a Jenkins job that runs on Drupal.org via Drupal CI. And this is like a user interface that reads the output that gets saved. And it runs against every single contrib project and checks its deprecation status and other errors from phpstan. So the next part is that this is now failing. So we need to update the neon to config. So undefined array key class. This was an error with, let's see if I can, let's try to type and so code. This error was due to is due to auto wiring. Support was added in. Let's see, this was recently added. Let's go to releases. Change PHP 7.1.0. Handle shortcut aliasing. Was it fixed here? No. Let's look for auto wire to closed. Here we go. It's fixed in 1.0.1 for phpstan-drupal. So that's one bug. And as before pointed, the other is deprecated.neon. So let's review this issue fork, which is cool because the test bot, right? It's a project on Drupal.org. Like the test bot is code on Drupal.org. Let's compare the differences. Nothing. I don't see. I don't see any branches. Oh, shoot. Proposed a fix in the merge request, and I don't see a merge request. So let's update neon. Let's make a new branch from dev. Wait. It's updated. Oh, here, wait. It was updated 3 weeks ago. What in the world? Hold on 1 second. Update the current format based on upgrade status. So that looks, I didn't see an MR, but I do see this update. I guess maybe which has the new neon is the problem, just the class offset. So I don't know what's going on here or why it's broken, because dev should have the latest fix. All right, so I made a branch. It's going to be wrong. But let's go. I don't feel like cloning down this project, so we're going to go to the web IDE. So this is the test bot. This is Drupal CI right here. And I've dug through this before, and there's source Drupal CI plugin. There's a build task. And there's different phases. And build stage, build step. So I think it's in codebase assemble. Nope, codebase assemble is it builds the code, validate, phpstan. So what I'm looking for here is to make sure that it installed the correct phpstan. So install phpstan. Composer require, it doesn't set a specific version, so it should be picking 1.0. So I think this should just be fixed. Let's see. Let's see if I can get back to this job. Not found. Okay, Drupal contrib. Oh, it looks like we're green again. Or not. Build artifacts. Let's look at the console output. Let's go to the end. And phpstan. Oh, I don't even see that in the list. Locking the file, PHP unit. Oh shoot, because this is just a contrib branch. Let's see, phpstan validation, Drupal contrib job, artifacts, image effects. So I guess let's just go to Drupal.org project. I was paying to check this out, but I'm not sure what there is to fix. Drupal.org. What is going on here? Second. I'm going to try reread the Slack message to see if I missed the context. Oh, of course that doesn't want to load. Funny. That fraction test run was actually something that I was part of on the issue. All right. So I'm not sure. Come on. Automated testing. View the source code. It must be my internet is just dropping. Shoot. Failed, tested weekly. So sorry, I guess my internet is popping off. So Drupal CI. Image manage. phpstan. Okay, so this has phpstan. What is this result? Okay, so I want to see if I can figure out why this says it's messed up. So console output. phpstan. Added. Okay, so running phpstan. Configuration excludes configuration parameter, blah, 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 at the same time. So that's, I still see it reporting here, but that's because the fix is in, oh, I'm so dumb. not dumb. I just missed something kind of obvious. That this should be against prod. For exclude analysis. Source dev target. Hold on. Dev prod? Is it because it didn't get... Is it because the code is in dev and not prod? I don't understand. This is where it's a bit out of my purview. So let's go to actual source code. Again, sorry, my internet's lagging, so it's probably making the stream rough as well. Into dev. Activity commits. Okay, so it's not in the actual. All right, let's do a compare. So the source is this dev, and it needs to be project bot Drupal CI dev. Compare. I didn't click compare. I assumed it would automatically compare. That's why. Jeez. 20 days ago, please disregard my comment number 8. There. I'm just going to per number 10 closing. Let's just close that. Here we go. Compare. I want to create this as a merge request. Merge request. All right. What's going on? Why can't I do this? You push to new merge request. Source branch. Oh, come on. This is a horrible time for the internet to go out. Not only am I streaming, but I'm trying to actually get some stuff done. All right. So we want to take dev. Here to there. Compare. It's weird that it didn't show the button like create merge request. So we'll try this and see what happens. So if I refresh this, we should see a merge request show up for that branch. Oh goodness, man, the internet is crawling. There is, okay, what in the world? Well, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to the issue, and I'm going to go to branches. I want to delete the branch that I created because that's not needed. delete. Oh, I can't. Okay, well. All right, so I'm going to link to the merge request since it's not showing up. And there we go. So let's look here. New cache factory. What? Have you tried adding the closing bracket? Wait 1 second. I had to look at the line 330. The error stone trying to process the following. It is easy to see that it appears to be missing the closing square bracket. Oh, I have not been able to figure out where the string is coming from. That's different than me being simple and saying that it exists. All right. Oh, now the merge request showed up there. Great. phpstan-drupal autoloader, unexpected end of line when parsing the info.yaml near cache factory. Is easy to appear that that's coming from there. Since this is not happening when auditing core code in the automated tests, and phpstan-drupal tries to parse all extension services.yaml, you'll need to review the services.yaml for all of your custom contrib code. If your site isn't crashing, which it would if this module was installed, that means it's something uninstalled that is still in your code base. All right, so there's nothing I can do if it's just a bad services.yaml. And phpstan-drupal by default sources all known extensions and services because we don't know what's installed or not. So it sounds like that there's an uninstalled module with a bad services.yaml. I want to come back and read this because it talks about the plans for Drupal 10, which is going to jump from Symfony 4 to 6. And we have to catch deprecations. And I realized that we need to try to figure out how to catch things from... Oh, we're jumping 5, so we can't even catch deprecations made in 5. So I need to just review this and try to think of a plan. Does Symfony 6 work with 8.1? I don't know. Let's find out. Symfony 6.0. Let's click the link. Release. Change notes. Dev. Major version ID. Let's go to code. Or let's... Code. No. Conversation. View file. Go to file. Go to path. Let's see. So if I click here, I should be browsing at that tree. Let's go to composer.json and it says greater than 8.0. So it must mean it's 8.1 compliant because it doesn't have the upper constraint. So I'm guessing it does. All right, so let's, before I get to this whole, like, how are we going to catch Symfony 10 deprecations? I didn't even consider that. Or for Rector. Oh, man. Okay. Start here. I was alerted to this by Nick itself. So upgrade status said 100% ready, but a .theme file we were calling image URL on a file that needed to be changed to image create URL. This is somewhat expected. I can help try to solve this with more context. The problem is that image is probably just entity interface. I should wrap this in some code snippets. You know, more and more, I can't wait till we get to. I've been against going all GitLab on Drupal.org because I love some of the Drupalisms and how we manage issues in our workflow. But I can't wait to get Markdown. Like, that's the one thing I can't wait for us to get Markdown. It's probably just the problem is that image is probably assumed to be a entity interface or mixed type. Since upgrade status is not running phpstan with any analysis, we aren't receiving any errors like what would it be, like entity interface URL method does not exist. Whenever working with entity objects, it is always recommended to use type hinting via one of the following ways. Let's get fancy with some bullets. So we've got, what is it? That's the inline there. Image, what would it be, like Drupal image, entity, image. I think that's the way you do it inline. My favorite, I'm sick of doing inline comments because they don't trigger the system on a failure if you're wrong, right? You could type in something and it's not the right type hint. So I prefer to do assert. So assert image instance of Drupal image entity image. Is that even a class? I don't know if it is that, but. And then finally, code if image instance of Drupal image entity image. phpstan only can report as much as it can infer. If the object is fetched generically, like entity, it has no way to. So that shorthand, sorry, arrow entity is from an entity reference. So getting the loaded entity object from an entity reference. So there's no way to understand that it is a specific kind of entity. So that's one thing. If you're having issues with your Drupal upgrade and it's not reporting deprecations, you need to do some more defensive programming and annotating your types as you're working with code, which also is better for your own, like VS Code and PHP Storm auto completion of code. I'm not going to close. Let's see. I'm going to do, okay. I didn't want to just close this. So I'm pushing, type hint interfaces as much as possible is what you should be doing, because that way you're verifying your code. I'm pushing this to needs more info so that more context can be provided. Maybe there is something more to dig into. I want to be fair. Need more info. Grammarly, clean this up for me. I did not want to just close this, so I'm pushing to need more information to provide more context. Way to go, machines. Grammarly, I think it's like $100 a year, and I've been using it for, I don't know, what is it? I know I hit a streak of like 208, like 230 weeks divided by 52. So yeah, I've been using and paying for Grammarly for almost 5 years, 4.5. It is definitely a great tool. All right, so before I get to phpstan-drupal itself, I triaged a few things. I want to read through this blog. I don't know if you've had the chance to read this yet, um, but Drupal 10 is going to jump from Symfony 4 to 6. We're not going to go to 5, and this is great because we'll be more aligned with the Symfony end of life cycle, which Drupal's release cycle is now directly tied to Symfony's. And it'll be very interesting if we are now about, let's see, Drupal 10 is slated to be released in June. It's November, we'll say December in this case. So we're about 7 months behind Symfony's release cycle. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes, because that means we'll need to deprecate. Drupal 10 will need to be end of life before, not end of life, but Drupal 11 will need a release before 7 months before Symfony 6's end of life, if I'm getting that right. Needless to say, I am glad we have amazing release managers for the Drupal project, and I am glad that it does not fall on my shoulders, because that is a lot to juggle. So as you know, Symfony 4 and CK Editor of end of life. Now, how is it possible to move Drupal 10 from 4 to 6? However, the exact same thing did happen. Oh yeah, that's right. It did happen with Drupal 8. It started on like 2, and then it was like bam on 3. So let's. Oh man. So the problem is. Oh, it will be a long-term release. Oh wait, that's right here. If I would read, Symfony minor release is only supported for 8 months. Okay. Long-term support. Maybe Symfony 6 long-term support is not mentioned in here, but that is awesome to know. So that means that it'd be neat if we have this kind of jump, like Drupal 10, like how Drupal 7, right, lasted, it's going to last like 15 years because it's not going to go away. If Drupal 10 is like the next long-term, like our next LTS in a way, like because the community supports it, because Symfony is supported. No, that's not. I don't know if that's what will happen, but it's nice to know that Symfony 6 will be LTS, so that way the timeline for Drupal 11 isn't as expedited as Drupal 10's was. So Symfony security extension for Drupal use packages. On the other hand, Drupal are supported for 12 months. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. So we support 12 months for minor releases, and they support 8 months. We made arrangements to have 2 core committers that'd be part of the Symfony security process to be able to backport fixes. Alex Pott and Lee Rollins, that's awesome. I was in place since September last year. I knew we had some collaboration with the Symfony security team, but that's pretty amazing. This is the part that's really relevant for my duties, because it's going to get wild on my end, I think, to try to support this. Second is bridging an API. Outline the plan for this recently. I need to bookmark that. Other bookmarks. Bridging API deprecations. The problem is that Symfony 4 deprecated some APIs, and Symfony 5 deprecated others. Symfony 6, so Symfony 6 is like a complete, it's chopping off 2 layers of history. Both Symfony 4 and 5 are out. The plan is to open 10.x branch development, then release a Drupal 10 Alpha 1 that's based off Symfony 4. Oh, okay. Let's. I don't have anywhere I can quickly distill this. without it being like opening my private notes. So let's see. Maybe I can open it over here. Never mind. All right. The problem is, so I'm not going to take notes. I'll take notes later. So, screw it. I'll make an issue here. Drupal 10, Symfony 5, Symfony 6 plan. Make a new Drupal 10 milestone. Make notes here. Announcement that Drupal 10 will use Symfony 6 and jump 2 major versions from Drupal 9 and Symfony 4. Plan for contrib. Now let's highlight the important parts. Problem is here, now that both are out, so let's see, open. Okay, so that's the plan there. Outlined plan for plan action. Say notes. Let's see. It's not that of a major upgrade versus Symfony 4. Okay, so it's kind of like an in between. Yeah, I figure that's got to be it. Like, it's not major. Like, you know, I upgraded a Laravel app from 5.4 to 8, and it honestly wasn't that big of a jump. Like, it wasn't that big of a hassle, but there were just a lot of changes that had to be reviewed. Let's see. So notes. The plan. So open. This is tracking notes for supporting Drupal 10, which will, I'm pretty sure that they did open the 10.x branch and it's, you know, failing and they're working whatever. Be released June 2022. Evaluating impact of work to be done. And that's going to be a really big hard part for me. I think I'm going to have to drop Drupal 8 support in a version. Like, I can't try to span Drupal 8, 9, and 10 with one tool. So I'll just have to drop Drupal 8 analysis. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stop running it on the workflows. We'll see. But I know I had a heck of a time having phpstan-drupal bridge between Drupal 8 and Drupal 9 with the test flows. So this will probably make it, it'll be interesting to see. So notes. Drupal 10.x branch will open, and so it's going to open and update to Symfony 5.4. Update to and other dependencies. So then alpha 1 will be based off 5.4. So I like that we're going to have an alpha release. So there's things that are pegged. Like, we can test Drupal 10 alpha 1 against here and catch deprecations. Allows contrib to catch deprecations. So asks in PHP in this project, create a work. So I need to create jobs to run against the 10.x branch. Create a job to verify 10.0.0 alpha 1 and Symfony 5.4. So those are things I'll need to have happen. This way there's a middle point that allows the necessary updates. This jumping, it's not something I did for all right. So I guess the main thing is just to get a 10.x branch running. So dev. So actually, the first job, tracking Symfony 5.4 and eventually 6. So I'll need a job that does 10.x dev. So that way it can just track Symfony 5.4 and then eventually 6, it'll roll over. And then make sure to create a new job that runs pinned against the alpha series. So before 5.4, are there, let's see, let us know so you can poke holes in the grand plan. What I would like to see is like have alpha. Let's see. Oh, come on, internet, stop messing around. I know that one of the biggest fixes will be, well, I guess in Drupal 9 we already fixed like the event dispatcher. That was one. How it's the class first and then you can specify a name, like the event class first. So let's see. Here's the plan. I'm going to issue a tagging. Alpha is we still haven't addressed the potential removal. Potentially tagging alpha 1 and 2. Taking early alpha cores can make monthly alpha releases, so deprecations and new features can be easier to maintain. I am trying to make the game plan for phpstan-drupal. Taking early alphas, core can make monthly alpha releases, so deprecations and new features would be easier for maintainers to follow and adopt changes from 10.x. There's nothing in here that says when Symfony 6. Does the upgrade to Symfony 6 have to be another alpha? Spitting an idea here because it would be, I don't know, can you pin to only use alpha releases? What is it? That semver tester. It's like semver dot blah blah blah. That's not it. Semver made with love.be. Let's see here. If we can figure something out. So let's do Drupal core main, and we want to do 10.x is there. So 9.3 e.x at alpha returns. So that doesn't work because it's going to keep. So 9.3. Oh, wait. Let's do 9.2. Let's look at 9.2. So I want to keep this at 9.2.0, This is lagging out, so sorry if the connection's... Why won't this keep 0? So the at does not work. So alpha is the minimum. What if I do, if I drop the tilde, that does straight. So never mind. Never mind my comment. For ensuring compatibility with Drupal 10 and Symfony 5.4 or 6. Well, I didn't want to do the upper arrow because that's so the let's see, I'll bring it back. So when at this specificity, or that does the upper constraint, it basically will keep me in the minor version, where using the tilde will keep me in the like exact, or it'll keep, sorry, the upper arrow will keep me in the same major version at this point. So that's why it allowed 9.3. It loads. So that was 9.3 because the arrow. But if I did the squiggle, it's going to keep me in the minor version. What I wanted to do was say, I don't want a stable version at all. And I don't know. Oh, wait, I do know. So that's not. So we need no idea if that's going to work. Don't get rid of my... oh, shoot. So that was the inverse. Actually, wait. So we want... So there might be a way to use like constraints, all like how people say, oh, we support greater than 8 but less than 8.1. So maybe there's a way that I could define it in here. Or it would be using a conflict. Actually, that would be one way, is using conflict. So tag another alpha. So I guess they want to have the Symfony 6 upgrade in alpha, not part of beta. Having monthly alphas would be great per number 35, as that way I could have a workflow which targets 10.x dev, and then one which only targets the alpha releases. Let's change this. We can we'll need one of the workflows to add a conflict on Drupal core for 10.0.0 alpha, whatever alpha introduces Symfony 6. That's all we can do, is just add a conflict. to prevent that workflow from getting the Symfony 6. That way I can ensure phpstan-drupal is working for folks as they begin preparing and scanning. Hopefully that makes sense. Shoot, that's gonna be fun. Projects here. Oh, D9 to D10. Guess we'll drag that in there to that project. I attempted to do some project management here, and that just went out the window. Close the project. I was going to link to that issue in case anybody's curious about following it. And then I'll get back to finishing it. So copy the link address. Let's pin this. Come on, internet. All right, proposal with overlapping long-term support release versions of Drupal core. Oh, so here we go. Lee Rollins went even further and presented the potential benefits of this plan down in the line with Drupal 11 and 12. Releasing Drupal 10 on Symfony 6 will allow us to support it longer, up to 2027. Oh, wow. That's 5 years. Okay. However, does that mean we cannot release Drupal 11 earlier than 2026, let's say? Releasing earlier would allow us to jump faster to Symfony 7, while it still give Drupal 10 users a more comfortable, longer support timeline. That would result in users not needing to update every 12 months to keep security port, but needing to update every 2.5 years. Check out this video and the issue titled Adopt a 2-Year Release Cadence with a 6-month LTS to LTS overlap for Drupal 10 and beyond. It's very interesting. And something that I need to keep eyes on because I have to maintain a tool that tries to parse all these different versions and changes along the way. So I'm going to quick subscribe to that issue. I'm now following this one, or I think I always was. Let's follow that. Oh, I clicked it before JavaScript loaded, so it's gonna go. All right. So I've got that running. I want to try to do some cleanup of these old pull requests. I feel like I should get a bot that does this too. So solves our specific problems related to something with Drupal check. As is, start a conversation. So it does not retrieve the ignored files list from settings or the configuration parameter. So in this case, somebody had a build directory that was being scanned, and Drupal allows you to ignore those. And phpstan-drupal does not make that configurable. Because you might have node modules or Bower components. So let's see. That's not the PHP storm I want. This is. So this ties into Drupal, the extension discovery. So it's default. Things are more hard coded here than in Drupal core. Where is it? So they want this to be dynamic or to read it from Drupal itself. And it'd be really hard to read it from the settings.php, because then we'd have to load settings.php and that could have code in it that would break things. So I want to avoid doing that. So I guess it could be a service parameter. I guess it just has to be a phpstan configuration, but no one else has reported this but them. Environment variables. So it'd be runtime. I don't know what to do here. Closing this PR as it's been inactive. Feel free to open an issue if this is still a problem. Like build. What would be under build? Is the so are they still really patching? Okay, I'm not going to close this. Let's do, is this still a problem? The fix would be adding a parameter for the extension, parameter and extension .neon to make this configurable. I really hate the GitHub labels. Like, they don't really help me much. Flag deprecated hook usages. So this was an idea to try to flag usages of deprecated hooks in a roundabout way. I think I'm going to keep this one around. It needs to be updated. But the idea was hook deprecated every time that, wait. Oh yeah. So anytime that we saw the method call, and if it was, wait, why can't I find this? Rule method call. So if the string is not equal to alter deprecated, this did not properly scope itself at all. But the idea was to find calls to oh, sorry, right here. So to do support all. So when calling alter deprecated, it would see if any of the hooks exist and return an error where that function exists. So I might keep this so I can eventually revisit it, but it can be very hard to work through. We can only detect usage of deprecated hooks if the code which invokes the hook is analyzed. Oh, that's one problem too. So this doesn't work because it only works when the module handler is dispatched. So I'm going to close this and I'll keep the branch around. Closing, but keeping branch. Approach did not work. Only worked. The approach, the approach did not work. It only worked when the hook is dispatched. Close with comment. go back to that root issue. That was 135. Oh, wait, what? Okay. Hold on. Did I get deprecated normal fashion? I tried an approach in what? Oh. Tried an approach in 135 that didn't work because we could only error when the deprecated alter was invoked, not by scanning each function. What we could do, so I don't know of where this exists in Drupal core, but let's look at Search API, because I know Search API has this. Again, internet, just work with me. I have one idea. I don't know if we can analyze functions when they're defined or only when they're called, but .api.php deprecated. Here is one idea that I did not consider previously. Have a rule that scans defined functions. Drop the module name from the beginning using the module file name as module name. Check if that function prefixed with hook from the beginning of function name can be found. Check if the discovered hook is deprecated. See here, so API.php, the problem is that, let's see, autoload Drupal, what do we do in module namespaces? That's not it. What do we do? Install. So we ignored source modules, update.php. So we don't include the .api.php for autoloading. The one problem is that we now must include the api.php files if they exist, which may have side effects. I don't know if they'll have side effects. Oh, need to upgrade my internet? I don't know what's been going on with it. Spectrum's been crapping on me. It's 200 down, 10 up, and it's usually really good, but the past few days have been horrible. So I guess that's one way we could do it and keep this alive. Source code font. I thought that's what I had on here. Because that's the one that's by Source Code Pro. Is that the one that they came out with? Hold on. Appearance. Whoa, this is not the font that I... Why don't I have it here? Hey, it's going pretty well. Just did some initial triaging of a few things. Oh, what? This is not what I thought it was. Oh, the .sf and oh, wait, hold on. So that is the JetBrains font. Oh, internet is killing me. Okay, so that is the JetBrains font. I don't remember after setting it up for so long. JetBrains Mono. Why is it called .sfns text? Like what? All right. Man, this is the worst my internet's been in a long time. It's dropped 15% of my frames, so I really apologize for that. If I could fix it, I would. All right. So I'm gonna keep triaging. So the deprecated hooks has some life back in it and support. All right. So replace only in string arguments. This is one that came around earlier, but I'm not sure what. Um, and PHP 8. Missed effects when arguments are int, bool, or null. Just reproduced. As it got merged, the only test case remains here. Let's resolve the conflicts. So let's, oh, this is the conflict right here. Add the CDN check. That should be, yeah, I don't know why mine is showing something completely, the NS, the, yeah, it's, I know I had set something up. Oh, JetBrains Mono. Why was that not being applied to everything? And then, because that was using the default font in the appearance. Ha ha ha. And then menus. Oh, man. That's right. Editor, general, font, JetBrains Mono. There we go. All right. Well, let's look at this source code pro. I'll try it out. Not right now, though. So let's see if I can get this working. To make upgrade status test pass. This is still open. No, it's closed fixed. Also credit to payment or for the time replacement. Where is this? Triple Finder. Oh, oh, do you plan to have some schedule for streaming? Oh, sorry. I totally missed that message. So I had a schedule and it's a little different right now. I plan on Mondays at 2 p.m. Central doing streams for Simply Test. So that's to work on this service, which lets you do like ad hoc Drupal site testing, like spin up a sandbox. It's just my Mondays are kind of erratic right now since I took a new job. But Wednesdays is concrete. Wednesdays always happen at 2 p.m. Central, and Thursdays are on the schedule, but I need to drop those because that sponsorship is over, and I'm still getting into the groove with my current job. But my schedule is basically every Wednesday at 2. I work on the upgrade stat, like Drupal upgrade stuff. Um, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more core development here and there and a few things that are important to me for a upcoming project. So I might live stream some of those, um, but that probably won't be on a schedule. Oh, yep. Um, thanks for the thanks on the new job. It's funny because the core stuff won't be part of the job stuff. It's for an upcoming project. I signed a new contract to do the Drupal 10 development cookbook, so it'd be the third edition of my book. So I wrote the Drupal 8 developer cookbook when Drupal 8 came out. I did a second edition around like 8.6 or 8.7. Didn't do anything for Drupal 9, but then reached out and just signed the contract this week to work on the Drupal 10 development cookbook. Don't know if I'm supposed to like actually like publicize it yet or not, but here I am. I signed a contract, so I'm going to do it. So I need to work on some stuff that I want to cover in the book that hasn't quite yet landed for Drupal 10, like the theme generator. So I'm going to work on those to get them more stable. Let's see. I want to see if this is still an issue or not. So, main GitHub PR check out 163. Let's let phpstorm be smarter than I am for rebasing. Oh boy. So Composer. This wants to add the build integration down here. Hold on. Let's see. So that's no PHP unit. Build integration, okay. So let's add it. We'll add it here. It was crashing. But let's add the remove and hit apply. And then do git push. Let's do a force push. And see if this is actually crashing. And so I can finally tidy up some old stuff. Incorrect reflection definition. Faces the same problem after I do some debug. Fixes 142. Oh. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if this was broken. That's some old code. So what I'm going to do is check it out and rebase it off of main. So the GitHub PR checkout. I'm so glad they created the CLI to check out pull requests. It is a lifesaver. Some main, some rebase. That was easy. Git push F. So where is that? Plugin manager inspection rule, one of the original pieces of code that I wrote. That's on line 102. Fully qualified the space name to string. Oh boy. Reflection, constructor. This is definitely some old code that needs to be, that probably it must not be actually tested, because this should be broken with how it's running. But we'll see what the tests say. So this passed, but let's go look at the build integration on PHP 8 and Drupal 9. So just because it says don't fail, let's read this. New unsafe usage of static. Found 2 errors. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. It didn't crash. Just warnings about unsafe new static. Close. This failed, probably because of the PHP stan error itself. Yep. Expects class 2 object string given. Why is this an error? Yeah, I really wish we could get rid of that unsafe new static, but oh well. UI examples. Oh, okay, let's see. Fix code quality. YAML plugin has to be overridden, but Drupal check produces an error even though the construct exists in the class and the parent does not call. Oh, I guess this is a, well, all right, we can get this updated. So this is what, 142. Let's actually get this tested properly. So we got rules. This does not have a test yet. Let's get this fixed. New file, test.php. Just going to copy this whole bit. Oh, that was a wrong thing to copy. All right, I'm not going to copy. I'm just going to copy those parts. So final class plugin manager extends Drupal rule test case. Get rule, return new plugin manager inspection rule. Set before class, we don't need that. Test rule. We'll just do public function test rule. Void this, analyze. Error. Actually, we do want a let's do data provider plugin manager data. Create the provider. yield. Okay. Let's see. Valid. How much time does it take to run my test? Let's see. In the phpstan Drupal locally, it takes a few minutes. I know in GitHub they're very fast. The phpstan Drupal tests take a bit to run because of because of what do you want to call it? Because it has to bootstrap Drupal a little bit. That's one reason that it takes a little bit longer to run the tests for phpstan Drupal. And I finally found out why that one test was crashing, and that's because Drupal would error if this bridge doesn't exist, PHP spec prophecy PHP unit. So if I run this now, it should work. And let's go see if I create in my test fixtures, modules, phpstan fixtures. Did I create a plugin manager in here? I don't think I did. Just plugin, lock. Yeah. 2 failed. So that right there, it took 13 seconds to run the entire test suite. So that's not too bad. It could be better. I'll skip to 8, and then all right. So we're working on this test right now, and they're saying that it's just erroring straight up. So let's go and just make sure that it's okay. Paratest. Now, paratest is the parallel testing, correct? That's what phpstan uses. So phpstan itself for its test, because it has like 5,000, uses paratest to do parallel testing. I have not tried using paratest myself because I haven't had a need for it. Right, paratest, parallel testing. Yeah, so I know phpstan uses paratest, so that way it can do everything in parallel. Drupal, it's funny, like Drupal invented its own way to do parallel testing a long time ago with simple test, and even does parallel PHP unit testing on its own without using paratest. Let's see. So where am I going? Fixtures, Drupal core. What is a YAML modules? Not book. Breakpoint source. Breakpoint manager. There we go. So this is saying it's going to return an invalid error on this constructor. But we don't know why. The plugin But let's clean up this rule. So it passed. And just because it passed doesn't mean that it's right. So let's rules, Drupal. That's not it. Rules, get deprecated service rule, plugin annotation. Nope. Access deprecated constant. Here we go. Reflection provider. And fix this to inject that. Rules. Do rules automatically get dependency injection? I actually have no idea. No, they don't. So that's why they're moved on here. I think they eventually received that fix, but I don't recall. So we're going to extend this. There. And fix this, create reflection provider. Let's see, this reflection, we need to do this reflection provider, get class string. We'll try this out. Oh, I see. So this is what they're saying was erroring or having issues. So let's clean up this test because this code is old. Like annotate 2018. This is like some of the first code that I wrote when experimenting with this. So yeah, it's almost, holy crap, 3 years old. Wow. So yeah, that definitely needs to get reviewed. So let's debug it and see what's going on. So inspect YAML. So we've got the class and namespace name. I wonder if we could just do get class from the class name. Or what about, hold on. Things have really improved in phpstan since I first wrote this. So let's see here. Instead of doing extends, let's see. Somewhere in phpstan we can find, so phpstan has this types system, and that's what I want to replicate here so we can convert this to the proper type. Node type, API extends rule. All right. So if extends is equal to null, extended class name, merge that. Copy. So we'll do extended class reflection if is in phpstan scope. That checks the namespace scope, get the scope namespace. phpstan name. We'll skip that. So if extended class reflection name is not equal to default plugin manager, or no, we don't want that. We want so let's do object extended class name. We don't want to extended class extended class object with new object type of extended class name, and we'll do extended class. 1 second. Node, how does it get this class's name? Actually, it doesn't. Scope. So let's do a want to actually plugin manager type equals plugin manager interface. Copy the reference. So this is new object type. And we want to say if plugin manager type is super of new object type node name. That's the thing I'm looking for right here, is to see mix and rule. So we'll, if not is set. Class name, here we go. We'll say plugin plugin manager interface type plugin manager type equals new object type class name. That's part of it. So we can check now if super type, if plugin manager interface type is super of plugin manager type. No. Actually, we want to say yes. And so if not super of, let's just do a breakpoint and run the test. So the idea is that we get the current class name, which is breakpoint manager. We create an object type, and we create an object type of the interface. And we check if it's a super of. So if breakpoint manager implements plugin manager interface, we're good to go. So let's look at more of these here. So is YAML discovery? Oh, this is amazing, isn't it? So what I think this could be improved upon. So let's check this out. So plugin manager type has method. Let's see, we gotta say get method. Get method, get discovery. So this just shows how far it's come along since I first started. Scope. Yeah, it's a heck of a change. Know how long it took me to sit and just figure that out. When now it's like, bam, right here we get the reflection. Also, I probably didn't think very well about it. I was traversing the entire statements. Same here. So let's see. We'll say discovery method reflection equals. So let's do another breakpoint and see if I can just streamline this. So the idea is that, what does it do? I don't even know. So we find discovery and check if the discovery creates a new YAML discovery. Oh, that's why. Because we can't just breakpoint manager. So get discovery. So the whole point is it reads this statement to see if it sets the discovery to be YAML discovery. All that work just to replace annotated class discovery. The discovery method reflection. The reflection declaring class is breakpoint manager. So really we need to know if it is overridden. So let's see. Discovery method reflection is get declaring class. That would just, so if the declaring class, but we can't Because what if somebody made a oh shoot. So we could find a declaring class. Let's see, one second. This discovery. Let's try something here. So get name, get deprecated description, prototype, get variance equal. So I want to see if we can infer what gets. Oh, that doesn't return this discovery. All right. Drop that breakpoint. Variance, there's one. Resolve function variant, template map, types, empty. Okay, that's just going down. Parameters acceptor, return type, discovery interface. Super type, ancestors, methods. Test equals variance 0, get return type. It's gonna return the interface no matter what. I was hoping, since it's overridden here, that this discovery is container YAML discovery, but then that wraps container derivative discovery decorator, that it returns discovery interface no matter what. And this, shoot. Bum, bum, bum. You need the stream to chat random dev stuff with us. You need to do some stream. Oh, sorry, my brain. I've been drinking from the fire hose, like with onboarding at Aquia. Like it's only my 3rd day, but it's just been like, so my brain is fried out. So do like a random dev stuff. Like I'm all for it. I'd love to do something that's just more off the wall. I just don't have ideas. Despite what some people may think, like I'm not a creative person and I don't come up with ideas very well. So I'm all for input and suggestions. I know one time I did like an AMA, like I did an Ask Me Anything, that kind of drove the conversation. I'd be interested to do one of those again. This. All right. Shoot. Well, I'm gonna skip trying to be fancy here. Just gonna we'll talk. Yeah, I'd be down to do that. I would be totally down to just do a hangout. Let's see. So now in this is YAML discovery. This seems to work. I'm not even going to try to touch that. Oh, pick your brain on Go. Don't interrupt. I can ask a few. All right. Yeah, I like Golang. I've used Golang. Yeah, that's a deep. That's a Kamaka, or no. Oh, Dragon Ball Z, Spirit Bomb. That is a Spirit Bomb nesting. It is absurd. I never want to touch that again. But yeah, so like Golang, I have not used Golang as nearly as much as I would like to. That is for sure. Is this gonna break? Nope. Constructor, PHP method reflection. So if constructor is null, should not happen. Okay, so if so that null. Oh no, get back. Come back. So that null check is already handled here. Get declaring class. So if the declaring class is not equal to the fully qualified to string namespace name is node name. So would this be the same difference class? Or wait, what am I doing? We did the same thing up here, right? To string. So let's just cast it to a string and ditch these here. Operands of incompatible types. Get declaring class. Oh. Get name. There we go. Yeah, I'm impressed with what I keep in my head and also what I cannot keep in my head. That's for sure. So, all right, this has got an error where UI examples. UI examples. Let's go look at the. Where is the error? Plugin man. Okay, UI examples of example plugin manager must override blah blah blah. Twirly bird, come on. So, example plugin manager, come on, code load. Source plugin manager. So extends. It's got a constructor, but it says it's not working. Get discovery, this discovery, return. And they're saying that it is breaking. So they're saying that this is full on breaking with their code. So let's make it a fixture. It's called example plugin manager. New file. What? New example plugin manager.php. Copy some pasta. We don't need to implement anything. Sure. And let's add that to the test. No, not okay, just more okay. And Drupal, no, it's not core. It's going to be modules, phpstan fixtures, source, example, plugin manager. Let's play it. This error. I wish I could figure that one out too. It's like when I run the test for the first time, it's like there's some caching. Oh. No error to ignore. What? Oh. Oh. Line 78. Let's see. Line 78. 78. What? Oh, because I'm in the breakpoint manager. Come on. 78. Ignore. I wonder why it was they had to add the ignore next line. I don't know, but I'm gonna just push this. I'm not the composer.json because that would break the Drupal 8 testing, which comes back to the whole like 8, 9, 10. I gotta drop Drupal 8 support at some point in time. Add that. We're gonna add those tests. I cannot reproduce the error they had. Well, duh, I can't reproduce it because I also fixed the code. So, you know, um, maybe that it's there. Inject reflection provider and reflection provider and use type system for plugin manager rule. Way to go for long commit messages. 3 warnings. It's fine. That's not from phpstan itself. But php vendor bin, phpstan. Oop. Okay, run that. Let's see. Okay, no errors, but that's not all. phpcs, because I still need to add the commit hooks. Source. Great. Now I will commit push. Yeah, I think I'll just drop it. So what I think I'll do is I want to keep the major so I don't have a policy on this. And maybe I need to. So maybe I need to write that somewhere. Come on, GitHub. Internet, whatever is the problem. So I want to try to keep the major version in line with the major versions of phpstan. So phpstan, it was 0 dot whatever, we match that. phpstan 1 dot, we match that. I want the major version of phpstan-drupal to try to match that. GitHub, Larastan. I don't know if that's the approach that Larastan is taking for Laravel and phpstan. They might be following the actual Laravel. Nope, they're following the same thing too. So what I think would happen is just when I drop Drupal 8, I'm gonna have to just bump the minor version and say you're not going to get any new enhancements along the way from phpstan Drupal. I mean, I can only support stuff for so long. It just feels kind of rough because I know there's some people that are still porting, but it's really stable. That's the other part. Like, it's really stable for that simplistic job. For the very simple job of find deprecated code, it works. But I don't want supporting Drupal 8 to hold back more advanced use cases. Well, this is failing. What? Why didn't this? What? Why did that not fail on my local machine? What? Hold on. Git push. Oh, wait. Git remote. Wait a second. Did I pushed it to origin, git push. Crud. As I pushed via git phpstan or phpstorm, it reset the origin. Let's see. Take the pull in v8 and separate branch and leave it there. Yeah, I mean, I could do minor fixes, I guess. Like, I could create a branch. I guess I could create a branch and you know, push some. I could do that. I'm gonna document that. And man, git push origin. Is this gonna let me find git push origin? Oh, I broke this. Oh, I know what to do. GitHub PR check out 178. Git log. Git push. Second. Git push. Oh, git checkout. Your branch is up to date with. Man. One second. I want to fix this. Log. GitHub. So I called it be right back because I'm going to recheck out that remote branch. And I wanted to preserve the Git object. So GitHub PR check out. Come on. Well, that goes. I'm going to update this issue here. Or actually, not create. I'm going to create an issue. Oh. I think the internet officially bombed out. Trying to look at my drop frames, and yeah, it's just spiking. All right, so sorry about that. I really don't know what's going on or what might be hogging all of my bandwidth. Drop Drupal 8 support. When beginning Drupal 10 support. My bitrate, I don't know, where is it? Well, right now it's about half of what it should be. And I have the actual number hidden. I just see it going from orange to yellow to green, way back, and like it's usually at green. In OBS, so when beginning Drupal 10 support, drop Drupal 8. This will be the 1.2. This will begin the 1.2x development. 1.2 main create 1.1.x branch to support backport of fixes for D8 folks. So that'll be my plan. Is main will continue to be development like it's 1.2, but I will create a branch called 1.1.x, and that's where I can tag things for future 1. Whatever releases if there's any bugs. I can go back to here. There's my git hash, git cherry pick, git push. So I cherry picked it, so had the branch that was busted, made a new branch, went back to the fixed branch, cherry picked, and push. And that's how I usually fix my git mistakes. Second, just all right. So there's that. This push is going. think I will be upgrading my internet soon, or it's probably my modem. I probably need to do a power cycle my modem as well, because you know it's always that. Let's see. Curious to check one thing in here. So like this is one with Laravel. It's definitely easier to support this wide range. I feel like because it's not such a hot mess like Drupal. Um, like Drupal supports PHP Unit 4, like Drupal 8 supports PHP Unit 4 to 6. Like it's absurd. So and Drupal 9 supports up to PHP 9. So like there's 4 major versions supported, where Laravel at least it's only these 3, which is less maniacal. Um that's why I can't support it anymore. Once I get further down the road, I can't because it's like spanning way too large of a too many things. Can't think of words. All right, I want to see if these jobs are passing. Nope, something failed. Magic properties not detected. And allow reference entities on field items. This pre-render callback I started working on before to inspect render arrays. Let's see. Property class like in is set is not nullable. Why am I not getting these errors locally when I run it? Plugin manager inspection rule. Line 29. If not is set. Yeah, I guess that's yeah. Laravel is a lot of magic. I appreciate it, but want to cry at the same time. And yeah, I guess if Laravel was trying to support the same spread, it would be going back to like not V1, but like V4. Like it would be going on a much larger spread. But why is this giving me grief? Is not nullable. Let me go into the far. All right, so we determined that it is class, so we just do and is set. Oh, why? Well, is that what I get for asserting it here? And if I didn't do the assert, it probably would be fine and happy. So we'll do copy this up top. Now it extends. So how does it just, I guess, whatever, it will be. I just don't understand why it worked here. Composer update. I did not check out. I did. All right, composer update. I'm gonna run update to get the latest PHP stand to match that. Second, gotta reply to a work thing. While we wait for that to update and run. Although it's not gonna work, so. Jeez. phpstan ignore this entire method. It's a hot mess. Yeah, that'd be a good one here and there. Just like ignore this chunk of code, because that is one thing. I don't believe that you can ignore like lines of code. It just has ignore next line. All right. Come on. Oh, phpstan. Oh, wait. Is it just because of PHP parser? I know I hit this error before. It's just rules, kind of annoying. So if is set, current class name. Everything has is if set because it is technically dynamic. I feel like I opened an issue on this for the parser itself. Okay, here we go. If is set, public name is set. So I guess it would instead be equal to null. So let's here. It's not nullable because yeah, instance of statement class always return to true. Line 31. Okay, that's gonna work for you? Sure. I'm just gonna do, oh wait, get amend. I'm just gonna amend that, get push F. Fitch magic properties are not detected. See, so this implements field item interface or type data list interface. I know that so I've had that issue before on the namespace name because it might be nullable. But PHP um the parser made some recent changes too. That's in one of our recent pull requests, Bombroad had to fix because it was returning a new error or we marked it as skipped. Let's see. Fields magic, can't handle property. I want to come back to this one and hopefully get this to pass and then reference entities. So the idea is that there's entity reference item list interface, and right now in phpstan-drupal we kind of just treat all field item lists as the same because we have no way of knowing what kind of item list class it is. And this would add support for calling reference entities right here, but figure out why this is failing. Entity class is not found. So yeah, so I need to dig into this a bit more without all the noise from the checks. So that's what I want to look at more now. All right, this resolve incorrect reflection definition. Merge, I'm just going to merge it. Improve the plugin correction. So I got my pull request down to 5. Let's see. I want to look at this really quick. So I opened one issue, then I'm going to hop off. But we received a feature request to validate that when code is calling another class outside of its shared namespace, so like we did layers. That at internal was the first layer. This is the next layer. To say that, Drupal my module, if it's calling from Drupal other module, that the other module is in the info.yaml. So essentially checking, is it doing a call across namespaces, and is that namespace available because it's listed in the dependencies? So, if you're calling, if your module says, I need something from the user module, but the user module is not in your info.yaml, we'll throw a warning, even though like the user module is always installed, but not warned on like Drupal core because that's always there. Or even maybe the system module, maybe. So the first step is this issue was brought up, and then Brombod had created the pull request for at internal checking, and that's kind of like was a great ground level. So this new one is that we need to expose all the current Drupal extensions, and that's a good thing because right now this project is there's some pretty dirty things when checking load includes, is it rescans for all the possible modules. So if we can move this data, which we've already done during the bootstrap, to its own service, well, then we can fetch it again. And it allows us to do some even greater analysis. Excuse me. So if I look here, like now we have the extension map, which is like the service map. Set modules, the module data. Again, module data in the Drupal autoloader. Module data is all of the extensions that were discovered inside Drupal. The only problem is that Drupal does some interesting things if you've ever dove into this part. I'll give a quick run through. So inside core, lib, Drupal core extension. So there's extension discovery, and that's, I forked this code into phpstan-drupal. This is what finds all the extensions and creates this extension object. Well, this extension object only knows the type, module, theme, profile, its path name, the file name of the extension, node.module, SPL instance for the info file, so it's a resource, and then the root of the app. Nothing about dependencies. Well, when you go to the extension list, this lazy loads all of the info.yaml information. Not even lazy load, it goes through, and when I guess you can call it lazy load because there's discovery and there's their listing. The discovery does not parse the info.yaml. That happens on extension list and info parser. You can see in here, create extension info, it parses it. What Brombon did is create a inset modules. We parse it and then creates a module extension, a new class. My proposal is to put this information in the extension class that we forked and have it lazy loaded. So when we call, get dependencies, that will deserialize the info.yaml to get the arrays and process it. So that way we know it, but we don't do file get contents on every single info.yaml in the system unless we're doing specific checks on it. So that's one improvement that should hopefully be shipping within the next week. Um, and I just want to give major kudos to Brombod. Like, just been killing it, releasing a lot of features, a lot that I haven't even thought of and brought up. So major kudos. I really want to know how they're using this on their projects, like if it's their company sponsoring it or they just really love static analysis. So cool. Thanks for hanging out. I need to wrap this up so I can go on and finish my day. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. And to do I gotta go back up in this stream. To do a hangout, I will find a time or ping me on Twitter with the DM and ping me on Twitter with the DM to find a time that we could like set up like a Q&A cool chat that would work with your schedule. That the extension class has the file resource already part of the property. Yeah, it's in the property. It just needs to get parsed, but it doesn't have the YAML converted to an array. So that's just what we need to add as the next step for it. And then we'll be able to tell you that you're calling your module is calling code from another module that's not marked as a dependency. And that's really flipping cool in my opinion. And thanks, that's also a suggestion that comes from King Dutch, who works at Open Social, I believe. So this is part of the work for Open Social, which is really cool knowing that Open Social is actually running it at phpstan level 8. Granted, there's a lot of ignored errors, but the fact that they're actually running a Drupal site against level 8 blows my mind. Like, that's super cool. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I might be back Monday at 2 p.m. doing some Simply Test Me, and otherwise, definitely this time next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. for more PHP Stan Drupal and such. So, see ya.